Her mother-in-law sold her for being sterile, yet the mountain man all desired chose her. Lena didn't scream when the rope tightened around her wrists, she simply stared at the woman who had once called her daughter. The woman who now stood on the dusty road, chin raised, bargaining her like cattle. Sterile women bring nothing but misfortune, her mother-in-law spat. Take her. And with one cold sentence, Lena's life was traded away to a stranger. But fate had other plans in the shape of a quiet, feared mountain man named Roran, a man every woman in 3 towns wanted, yet none had ever truly known. Lena had been married into the Halden family for only a year when the whispers began. She heard them in the kitchen, in the barnyard, in the hallways. She can't give him a child. She's barren. She's a burden. Her husband, Jareth, never defended her. His mother, the matriarch who ruled the household, watched Lena with eyes sharp as knives. When the year passed with no pregnancy, her fate was sealed. The morning they dragged her out of the house, Jareth didn't even come out of his room. She walked silently beside the horse cart, dust coating her skirt, until they reached a clearing at the foothills of the mountains. Men were waiting, ranch hands, traders, strangers. But one figure stood apart. Tall, broad, dark hair tied back, a scar crossing his brow like a lightning strike. Roran Thorn, the mountain man of the North Ridge. People whispered about him, how he lived alone in a cabin high above the wolves, how he built his home with his bare hands, how no woman had ever managed to win his heart. When he stepped forward, the crowd fell silent. How much? He asked plainly. Her mother-in-law named a price without hesitation. He paid it without blinking. Lena looked up at him, expecting cruelty. But his eyes held a depth she couldn't decipher. Not softness, not pity, simply a steady, grounded calm that made her chest ache. The journey up the mountain was long. Roran didn't speak. He simply cut her rope, handed her a cloak, and walked. Only when they reached his cabin, a sturdy wooden home overlooking endless valleys, did he finally face her. You're not a servant here, he said. You're free. But you're welcome to stay until you decide where your life goes next. Lena blinked. Free. That word felt unfamiliar, almost dangerous. She expected commands, demands, expectations. Instead, he pointed toward the small guest room. You look tired. Rest. And that was that. Days turned to weeks. The mountain air softened her grief. The silence gave her space to breathe for the first time in years. Roran worked from dawn till dusk, chopping wood, tending animals, fixing fences. He never asked anything of her. But he noticed everything. When she burned her hand on the stove, he wrapped it gently. When nightmares woke her, he left a lantern outside her door. When she cried quietly on the porch, thinking he couldn't hear, he placed a thick blanket around her shoulders and walked away without a word. Slowly, very slowly, she began to feel something she had long forgotten. Safety. One evening, a storm rolled in, trapping them inside. Thunder boomed, shaking the cabin. Lena sat by the fire, hugging her knees. Roran, sharpening a knife a few feet away, finally spoke. Why did they sell you? The question was simple, but his tone held no judgment. They believed I couldn't have children, she whispered. He set the knife down. And you? Do you believe that? She hesitated. I don't know. Roran stood, walked to the fireplace, and threw another log onto the flames. A woman's worth isn't measured by her womb, he said quietly. Not here. Not ever. Her breath caught. No one, not even her own husband, had ever said that to her. Spring warmed the mountain. Lena began helping Roran with small chores, laughing more than she had in years. She watched him from afar sometimes, the strength in his arms, the gentleness with his animals, the quiet patience in everything he did. Women from down in the valley often hiked up, bringing baked pies or baskets of berries as excuses to see him. He was kind but distant, accepting gifts but never inviting more conversation. One day, after another young woman left with a disappointed sigh, Lena teased lightly. You seem very popular. Roran shrugged. They want a man they can show off. I'm not that man. What kind of woman do you want? She asked softly. He looked at her for a long moment, so long her heart thudded painfully. A woman who's survived enough pain to understand peace when she finds it. Her breath froze. His gaze didn't waver. A woman like you. The confession changed everything. Their days grew warmer, their evenings longer. Roran taught her how to track animals, how to start a fire, how to climb the ridge safely. She taught him how to cook proper meals, how to mend shirts, how to laugh again. Their bond deepened, slow but certain. Yet Lena feared one thing. What if one day, you want children? She whispered one night by the fire. Roran reached out, brushing a stray hair from her cheek. Then I will want the life we build. Not the one others expect. Tears pooled in her eyes. For the first time, she allowed herself to lean into his touch. Months later, Lena woke one morning feeling dizzy, her stomach churning. She brushed it off until the third morning, when Roran found her pale and trembling. Sit, he said firmly, making her tea. But she couldn't sit still. Her heart raced. Her hands shook. This couldn't be. Could it? Roran knelt in front of her. Lena, look at me. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I think I'm pregnant. He froze. But then, slowly, his expression shifted into something she had never seen on his face. Wonder. Awe. A breathless smile. Lena, his voice cracked. That's a blessing. Not a burden. She sobbed into his chest. Not because of the child. But because she finally felt worthy of love. Months later, as snow fell softly outside the cabin, Lena placed a newborn baby girl into Roran's arms. He held the child as though she were the most precious thing on earth. She has your eyes, he whispered. Lena leaned against him, exhausted but glowing. She has your heart, she murmured. Roran kissed Lena's forehead gently. No, he said. She has yours. A heart strong enough to survive betrayal, and soft enough to love again. Lena closed her eyes, letting the warmth of her family envelop her. She had been sold, discarded, abandoned. But she had risen from it, not broken, but reborn. In the mountains, she found freedom. In Roran, she found love. And in herself, she found strength she never knew she had. Moral. When others try to define your worth, remember, your value does not come from what you can give them, but from who you are. Healing, love, and new beginnings always find those courageous enough to walk away from the places that break them.